Alright, so in this video I review 4 mid-level budget cubes. Let's see how they compare. Alright, so first up we have the MF3RS2. But first, here are the stats. It's 56 millimeters, it's 80.9 grams. It was released September 29th, 2017, and I got it for $7.99 on the cubicle.us. Alright, so my initial thoughts on this puzzle is that it's very fast and durable. It's pretty much what I would expect out of a $10 puzzle, only it's about $7.99. The turning has a very buttery, smooth feel that makes everything feel pretty natural. It doesn't really have any issues with locking up or binding. Corner cut's pretty fantastic, right at that 45-degree mark, maybe just even past it. Also, this piece separation is pretty good, and I would say it contributes to the overall puzzle flow. The lube recommendations I'd make for this puzzle is probably the Martian lube. It doesn't need to be slowed down or really sped up, but the Martian lube pretty much complements this puzzle. As far as tensionings go, I only loosened this puzzle up about a quarter turn on each side, and that made the puzzle feel pretty comfortable to my style. Alright, so going into the core, I like the core. It's very free-flowing. It also kind of reminds me of the Cheeky Thunderclap version 2. These caps look like they're fitted and pillowed over the pieces, but it's just kind of a little end cap. But either way, I love it. Moving right along, going to a corner piece. This corner stock could be a little bit longer, but I mean, no big deal, I've seen longer. It's made up of 3 pieces, which all break apart and do surround the corner stock. So I like that. That way that if any of these pieces are disrupted or start to separate, it doesn't impact the corner stock. Lastly, your edge piece is pretty much made up of 2 pieces, pretty standard. Along the sides there are some nice, really thick slots. These slots are for the center caps, for more stability along how the puzzle flows. In closing, this puzzle is very reliable for the price and should be easy to buy for most cubers that want a great puzzle. I'd be excited to magnetize this puzzle for more stability. Overall, I'd rate this puzzle about a 9 out of 10. In my opinion, it could only be better with magnets. Alright, up next here we have the Cyclone Boys FeiJue M. It's 56 millimeters, it's 89 grams. It was released January 25th, 2018, and I got it for $12.95 on the speedcubeshop.com. So my initial thoughts on this puzzle is I'm amazed at how non-plastic the puzzle feels. It feels very heavy, feels very solid, like the plastic is a tile. When I first reviewed this puzzle, I was pretty unsure how I feel about the clickiness of the magnets that were bracketed inside the pieces. So I've since glued down all the magnets of the entire puzzle, and honestly, I'm not too pleased with the result. Corner cutting does not struggle at all, and this it actually does really good around the 45-degree mark, if not just past it. Also, piece separation is pretty good. So turning is pretty good, and now that the magnets don't float around, I don't really feel the magnetic bump that I was used to when they weren't secured. So the lube recommendations I'd make for this puzzle is probably a heavier lube since it's already pretty fast. The lube I would probably use is the Nebula or something similar. And as far as adjustments go, I don't feel like I needed to personally adjust any of the tensionings since it's right where I like it out of the box. Alright, so going into the core, this core is again pretty free-flowing like other puzzles in the price range. It kind of has a look and feel of the MF3RS, but just stickerless version. Going into the corner piece, the corner stock is pretty long. I like this. Also, the pieces are all made up of 3 individual pieces, and you can see the slots where the magnets would go. Unfortunately, I can't break it apart because it's kind of glued together. I didn't really do a good job gluing, and some of these pieces got stuck. Going into your edge piece, the edge stock is pretty standard. The piece has really thick grooves and slots, which I like. Opening the piece up, you can actually see the magnets right here, and they're of course fixed. Alright, so my final thoughts. As far as this puzzle is concerned, I find it's actually a pretty great puzzle to play around with. I wouldn't recommend gluing down the magnets though. I would probably give this puzzle an 8.5 out of 10 because 1, the price, a little bit pricey, not too much, but again, for the quality you get for this, I'd say it's probably right at kind of the tail end of the quality spectrum for the price, and it's stickerless. As much as I like stickerless, I've also really grown accustomed and familiar with more of the stickered puzzles because of the grip. So, yeah, take it for what it is. Still a great puzzle. All right, up next here we have the FeiJue Thunderclap version 2. It's 56 millimeters, 88.5 grams. It was released July 6th, 2016, and I got it for $9.95 on the speedcubeshop.com. So when I first got this puzzle, I was pretty pleased with how it felt out of the box. As of now, I'm only marginally impressed. So going right into lube recommendations, I have to say that I would recommend the Galaxy lube since I'm gonna need to speed this up a bit. It's not that it has a lot of friction, it just feels a bit gummy. Piece separation isn't half bad, but it could be better. Either way, it doesn't seem to hinder the overall performance. Corner cutting doesn't really struggle at the 45-degree mark, so that's always a good thing. As far as the tensionings are concerned, I don't feel that there's a need to adjust any of the tensionings. It's pretty comfortable to my feel. I just need to lube it. All right, so going into the core, again, pretty standard core. Obviously a little bit more on the budget side given the other puzzles with the hardware. The caps are pretty heavy duty, very, very pillowed, and these caps do fit over the pieces. I like that. I like all the grooves and edges, around the piece. It just kind of makes it more distinct looking. So going into the corner shock is very, very short. So no problem there. It obviously performs very well. The corner consists of 3 pieces, which again, kind of like the FeiJue M. You have to use a pin to kind of release the pieces, so that's kind of a pain. But either way, it's not magnetized, so it is what it is. The edge is a pretty standard edge piece. Edge stock like all the other puzzles, pretty standard. Nice grooves and slots along the piece. It does separate well, pulled apart, while 2 pieces. All right, so my final thoughts. For under 10 bucks, this puzzle's pretty legit. It's hard to say what puzzle I prefer more overall between this and the MF3RS2. I'd probably lean more toward the MF3RS2 because it's just slightly better out of the box in my opinion. I would rather slow my puzzles down than work to speed them up. So again, I give the Thunderclap version 2 probably an 8 out of 10. Up last, we have the Yushin Little Magic M. It's 55.5 millimeters. It weighs 78 grams. It was released November 30th, 2017, and I got it for $13.99 on thecubicle.us. So when I first reviewed this puzzle, I gave it a pretty low and lousy review. This is officially my time to redeem that review. So I have since re-stickered it, lubed it, retensioned it, and now I absolutely love this puzzle, and it is absolutely a main contender. Turning this puzzle literally takes no effort. I'm not sure what Yushin does, but probably one of the best turning puzzles I've ever had. It almost feels like there's no friction whatsoever. Corner cutting is well past the 45-degree mark, and it feels like it can comfortably cut around the 50 to 55-degree mark. Piece separation is about on average with other puzzles in the same range, probably a little bit better. Believe it or not, I actually tightened the puzzle about a quarter turn on all sides. All right, so the core's a bit weird. It's kind of stubby, very, very stubby feeling, and the springs are really good. I do like this 3-tiered centerpiece. I'm not sure how the mechanics work, but I'm sure it absolutely contributes to the overall speed of this puzzle. So moving into the corner stock and the corner piece, the corner stock is pretty long, probably the longest corner stock out of all the pieces. Also along all the edges, you have nice grooves and divots all around the piece, so that makes it that's also pretty nice. The corner pieces again are made up of 3 pieces, pretty hard to separate, so I'm not going to do it right now. Going right into the edge piece is actually different than all the pieces. So it's again made up of 2 pieces, but unlike the other ones, this edge stock is actually free-flowing and it's held together by the 2 pieces. So it's kind of an interesting system, and as you can see here, there are the magnets. All right, so final thoughts. Overall, this puzzle is a legit puzzle, and I absolutely recommend putting a little work into it if you get it to get the most out of its performance. The magnets aren't very strong, but they work. The only thing I don't care about this puzzle is its budget feel. It's not the most stable puzzle, but its performance absolutely makes you forget that it's a budget cube with magnets. So again, I'd rate this puzzle a 9 out of 10. All right, so which puzzles did the best? The puzzle that wins the best turning for me is by far the Yushin Little Magic M. The puzzle that wins the overall feel to me is probably the MF3RS2. I just like how it feels. Again, if the Yushin Little Magic didn't have that budget feel, it would probably win all these categories. And the puzzle with the best piece separation is, again, the Yushin Little Magic M. Overall, I'd say the best mid-budget puzzle you can get between $9 and $15 is probably the Yushin Little Magic M. It's just that good. If you want, the beauty of it is that you can start with a non-magnetized puzzle for about $4.99 and play around with it. The runner-up is by far the MF3RS2. For the price, you just can't beat it. So a little housekeeping. So stay tuned for the new YJ MGC coming soon. I have it pre-ordered and I'll be doing an extensive unboxing and initial review as soon as I get it, so be on the lookout for that. So if you're new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button, as it's fun watching the channel grow. If you found this video helpful, give it a like. Lastly, if you have any comments, thoughts, or concerns, share them below in the comments section. So till next time, happy cubing.